Hold on. Let me make sure this works. All right. Hi, guys. Today I'll be presenting to you the chemical cycle we ignore. First, let me start by asking you this. Would you knowingly eat something every day if you knew it could slowly damage your body and the environment around you? Most people wouldn't, but the truth is Americans already do. Today, I want to talk about the hidden dangers, the hidden chemicals inside processed foods and how they affect our physical and mental health. How industrial food production is damaging our environment. You may think, why should we care at all? Well, how many of you already ate processed foods today? Okay, that's not that many of you. The majority of Americans consume processed foods daily without realizing how many additives, preservatives, artificial dyes, and chemicals are hidden inside them. This isn't about junk food. It's about the way our entire food system is drastically changing. This brings us to the question, what are food chemicals? Well, before I continue, I just want to clarify that technically everything's a chemical. Water's a chemical, proteins are chemicals, and even natural ingredients are chemicals. What we're talking about today are the synthetic additives and contaminants added to processed foods to improve texture, color, taste, and even shelf life. These are the chemicals that worry scientists and health experts. One of the many things affected is our mental health. A Harvard-led study found that women who consumed the most ultra-processed foods were 50% more likely to develop depression. Think about that. What we eat doesn't just fuel our body, it also fuels our brain. When our diets are filled with artificial ingredients and excess sugars, it can affect mood, concentration, and even energy levels. If these foods affect developed adult brains, imagine the impact they have on children whose brains are still not yet developed. Processed foods are usually loaded with refined carbohydrates, added sugars, unhealthy fats, and artificial ingredients. These cause blood sugar spikes and inflammation throughout your body. The US now has extremely high rates of obesity and diabetes, and processed food consumption is the major lead for that. Usually, you'll see products marked as healthy, but the sad truth is that many of these products are very ultra processed. That's one of the most concerning parts, because who can we trust? Take a look at this graph. You can see that between the 1880s to 2023, you can see the numbers rising. This isn't just a small lifestyle shift. It's a nationwide trend that has quickly increased over decades. So when we ask, why are obesity rates rising, we also have to ask, what is changing in our foods? It's important to notice this increase happened during the time when ultra-processed foods and aggressive marketing strategies were becoming one of the most important, major parts of Americans' lives. These chemicals are very addictive. Have you ever had a bag of chips and said, I'll just have a few, but the whole bag was suddenly gone? That's not accidental. That's because many of these processed foods are designed to keep you wanting more. Studies say sugar can activate dopamine reward pathways in the brain, similar to addictive behaviors. This creates a cycle where unhealthy foods becomes harder and harder to stop eating. Did you know more than 10,000 chemicals are in our foods today? Even if food itself wasn't processed from chemicals, there's still chemicals entering through its packaging. PFAS, usually called forever chemicals, which are used in food packaging, plastics, and nonstick cookware, these chemicals stay in our body over time and they break down extremely slowly. Scientists have found plastic-related chemicals in the blood of most Americans, so this problem really starts even before we take the first bite. The damage doesn't just stop there. Industrial food production is also harming our environment. Fertilizers and pesticides wash into rivers and lakes. Plastic food packaging fills landfills and oceans. According to the United Nations, food systems are responsible for 1/3 of global greenhouse emissions. The same system harming our bodies is the same system damaging our planet. So, why does this continue? The answer is simple: money and convenience. Processed foods are cheaper for companies to make and easier to store. Some additives are approved through the FDA and the GRS, which in there is loopholes, because these companies get to determine what safety means for us. As consumers, we become used to fast and convenient meals. But convenience should not cost us our public health. To be fair, there are counter-arguments supporting processed foods. Preservatives help food last longer, and processed foods are affordable for many families. Realistically, eliminating every chemical isn't possible. But the real question is this: at what point does convenience become more harmful than helpful? This presentation isn't about fear. It's about awareness. Small changes can actually make a big impact. Reading ingredient labels, reducing heavily processed foods, and supporting stronger food regulations can all improve public health and environmental sustainability. We may not control our entire food industry, but we can control what we choose to support. The widespread use of harmful chemicals in processed foods has become one of the most overlooked issues in modern society. These chemicals may increase convenience, but they cause pollution, disease, addiction, and environmental destruction. The choices we make today will shape the health of the future generations. So, convenience should never cost us health, our environment, or our future. Thank you.